I know we go possum hunting after I got a little bigger, go out at night with the dogs and catch possum. And we kept our directions, or the adults did, by what did you call it? The star dipper. The way the handle pointed, how many stars, and you couldn't lose them old codgers back in them mountains, as long as they could see that star dipper. Now, it never did mean anything to me, and I never did learn how to use it. But in other words, we worked hard, we lived hard, but we made it. As I growed up, a 55-year-old man was just about as old as they got back in those hills. They'd be hump-shouldered, broke down physically due to the rough life. An awful lot of them worked in timber in the woods and get out in the wet and the cold, and their shoes would leak, their feet wet, and didn't have sufficient diet or anything of that nature. I contribute my long life to getting on a good diet after I went to the Army and lived on it so many years. Then after I got married, we still maintained a pretty reasonable diet. Yet I remember the Depression quite well, and the thing that caused it, the stock market would allow people to buy on a credit. They'd buy stock today and it'd go up 2 days later and they'd sell it. So all of a sudden, for some reason, the stock market stalled up and people was deep in debt to the stock market. They're stuck with the stock and couldn't sell it. And banks down in the countryside, they'd loan farmers money on their mules and their wagon and this kind of thing. And then the Depression hit, no money, everybody losing their jobs, a lot of people going hungry. Because they had no money to buy food with. Now, we had our normal diet that we growed on the farm. We never did suffer for enough to eat, but that is about all we had. And young people, 12 and 14 years old, going, there's no such thing as them ever having a nickel for a Coca-Cola. Times was that bad. And in those days, there's a lot of textile mills in the countryside. Now, they run 12 hours a day, and they worked about 12-year-old girls for 10 cents an hour. And that's when President Roosevelt made the wedge in the hour law. He cut it to 8 hours a day and established the 3 shifts a day work, and he raised the pay to 25 cents an hour. And boy, people then thought they had gobs of money. Anybody that had managed to have a couple $1,000 in the bank thought they was rich. But you could buy a good 2-bedroom brick house for $4,000 in those days. And so now it's much different from that. Package of cigarettes cost a dime, package of chewing gum cost a nickel, candy bars was 3 times as big as they are now, and they cost a nickel. And so quarter, you could buy a lot of stuff with it in those days.